Starters. Ready? All right, back on the record in the Simpson matter. All parties are again present. Mr. Simpson is present with his counsel, Mr. Shapiro, Mr. Cochran, Mr. Scheck, Mr. Blazier, people represented by Mr. Darden, Mr. Goldberg, Mr. Clark. The jury is not present. The record should reflect that this morning the court had a conference with counsel in chambers concerning certain demonstrative evidence items prepared by the prosecution. The first was the LAPD additional evidence disposition, which has been previously marked as People's 209. Court will allow the use without commentary regarding what was done with the items represented, which are the substate controls, while they were in the possession of the defense and made available at that time for their examination. There is a second board that is entitled Defense Testing, and I'm sustaining the defense objection to the title of that board. And for simplicity purposes, Mr. Goldberg, I would suggest at this point that we mark that as People's 210. Is that agreeable to the people?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to direct Mr. Fairlow to cover the title of the board as Defense Testing, since at this point it's not appropriate to comment on whether or not any testing has been accomplished or done by the defense.
Yeah, Your Honor, is the court going to have a stipulation prepared, or will we be able to ask Mr. Matheson whether these items were turned over in October of last year?
You'll be able to ask him if those items were turned over and that they were returned at some point in time, and that's it.
I believe you used the word examination when in chambers we used the word inspection.
Inspection.
Thank you.
All right. And Mr. Matheson is here, and Mr. Goldberg, you can consult with him on that. All right, as to a third board that was shown to the court, which has various depictions of item 13, the socks, the court will sustain the defense objection at this time to the board itself. However, the photograph of the single sock, the objection is overruled. All right, anything else we need to put on the record before we invite the jurors to rejoin us?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Goldberg?
No.
All right, let's have the jury. Direct examination by Mr. Goldberg. Good morning, Mr. Matheson.
Good morning.
Mr. Matheson, you were reminded, sir, you are still under oath. Mr. Goldberg, you may continue with your direct examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Matheson. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Matheson, when we left off yesterday, we were talking about the creation of FITSCO cards from the reference files. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Right. I wanted to show you what we previously marked as 163L for identification. See if you can tell us what this type of item is.
This is an example of a type of blood swatch card that we purchase. It has an outer envelope for protection inside, contains an area where you could record some information about the items, and then 4 circles that are in a filter type paper approximately an inch in diameter where you put the blood.
Can you hold that up so the jurors can see what you're talking about?
4092 indicates you can't see that. If you want to pass that through the jury box?
Sure. I also passed the envelope that
Yes.
came in. To mark another exhibit while the jurors are...
Yes.
I'd like to mark as People's 211 for identification. As 211A, what appears to be a photograph of item number 60.
I'm sorry, that was item number 16?
60.
60.
As 211B, what appears to be item number 59.
All right,
And as
211B.
211C, what appears to be item number 17. The Fitzco cards. I placed the numbers on the reverse of the photographs.
All right. All right, Deputy Russell, would you turn that to Mr. Goldberg? All right, thank you, counsel. Proceed.
Mr. Matheson, I'd now like to show you the photographs that have been marked as People's 211A through C for identification. Is the resolution high enough for you to see those on your screen?
I could see the items and what's displayed there. The writing is difficult to discern.
Did you take a look at these photographs prior to coming into court today, last night?
Yes, I did.
All right. And with respect to these three items, what are they, first of all?
All three items are cards similar to the type that was just displayed in the courtroom here that are used to preserve liquid blood samples. Portions of a liquid sample is applied to the 4 different squares of the card. The best way to preserve a sample is dried and frozen, so that way we have portions of the blood rather than just keeping it in a vial in the best possible form.
Do you do your testing or some of your testing from these cards as opposed to the blood vials themselves?
As far as the conventional typing goes, it's all done directly from the blood vial. These we started using in our laboratory with the advent of DNA typing.
All right. Now, in many of the photographs that we've seen of the packaging materials, in this case, there are these cards at the bottom. What are those? The ones that have the DR number and the date.
Those cards are placed in there by the photographer. They have the DR number, date, and what's called a C number, which references back to the order number for the photography.
Is that something that's standard when your SID photographer is taking photographs such as these?
Well, it's standard for something like that to show up in at least one frame of a roll of film or a sequence of photographs regarding the evidence.
Okay, and with respect to the photograph that's 211A, on the bindle there are some initials, if you can see them, that are CY. Can you see that?
No, I can't make it out on the picture.
Okay. Who's that?
The CY are the initials of Colin Yamauchi, a criminalist that works in the serology unit.
And what is the C2?
C2 refers to a designation that we gave the initial exemplars that were involved in this case. It was decided that due to confidentiality, we would give a arbitrary indication, C1, C2, and C3, to the exemplar, portions of the exemplars that were submitted to Cellmark Diagnostics for analysis.
Is that something that's standard or was just done in this case?
It was done in this case. We haven't done that before.
And C2 then was Nicole Brown?
Yes, it was.
Who was C1?
C1 was Mr. Simpson.
And C...
Noted.
And C3?
C3 was Mr. Goldman's sample.
Okay. Thank you. Now, I was also going through the board that we marked as People's 177, the evidence disposition. Can I see the board that has number 78, item number 78 on it? And I'd like to mark as my next exhibit. That's 212, a document that says serology item description notes.
All right, people, 212. Mr. Glacier, do you have a copy of that? Need the easel over here.
I'm going to place a 212 on the reverse of the document. Sir, direct your attention to People's 177, and this is the exhibit that has 59 through 82 on it. Looking at item number 78, the packaging, did you do some testing yourself on that item?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you take some swatches from that item?
Yes.
What was that? What is the item?
Well, the item number 78, are a pair of white shoes with red stains on them.
Okay. Now, in reviewing the records in order to verify this board, did you see a record that pertained to the entry 78 swatch and the date 7/20/94 with Mr. Yamauchi's name?
Yes, I did. The name appears on the board here. I recognize the document as one prepared by him.
Okay, can we see that next document as People's 212? I'll just, to save time, I'll just show you Peoples 212 for identification. Can you tell us what that is?
This is a serology item description note page filled out by Mr. Yamauchi, indicating the swatching or sampling of some stains under the what appears to be the left shoe from item number 78.
And you previously described this type of document. Is this type of document actually generated at the time that the actual analysis or swatching is being performed?
Yes, it is.
And you have sketches on these very often, is that correct?
Yes.
And does the analyst sketch out or try to sketch out where the swatch for cutting came from when they're taking a swatch or a cutting?
Yes, normally.
Right. Did Mr. Yamauchi do that here?
Yes.
Sustained.
Is there a sketch on this particular document indicating where the swatches came from?
Yes, there is.
All right. And I wanted to ask you another question about the items that were recovered by you from the carpet from the Bronco. That was Peoples 172. If we could see that board again. Peoples 172. Sir, directing your attention back to Peoples 172 for identification and the photograph in the middle on the bottom that has the number 293 in it. Do you recognize what's depicted there?
Yes, I do.
Do you know who is pointing to that item with the red pen?
I believe that's my hand.
And when you collected this item 293, did you collect it from the carpet that's depicted in that photograph?
Yes, I did.
And you previously discussed how you did that. You used the method of just cutting rather than cloth swatch.
That's correct.
Now, what item number is the carpet itself?
I believe it's item number 33.
And that was recovered by Mr. Fung, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, in terms of the swatching that was done on the console of the Bronco, that you said that you could see prior to when you did your swatching, do you feel that more sample should have been taken from those areas, 30 and 31?
Yes, I feel the problem.
Sustained. Rephrase the
Well,
question.
when they were initially swatched.
Yes, I did. Upon seeing the blood that was present, I believe that probably more should have been taken originally.
And what do you mean by that?
Well, there was stains present on the console And that's a hard surface. It's a non-porous surface. The blood is just sitting right on top. It's fairly easy to remove, but it also can be fairly thin. I would have, probably the best thing to have done would have been to have removed more of the sample originally on the first search.
When you removed more sample from those locations, was all of it gone by the time you were finished?
No, it was not.
How much was left?
Oh, I don't remember.
But there was some left.
There was visible staining left, yes.
If you're removing staining that covers a fairly large area on a wall, for example, how do you decide how much of that stain to remove if it's a smear that covers maybe a square foot?
Well, given the different types that are available to us now, I would, in a situation like that, would probably want to collect 4 or 5 swatches, average maybe quarter-inch square swatches, something like that. Maybe a little more. It depends on whether there's other evidence available.
But would you necessarily cover the whole square foot?
No, I probably would not take it all.
Okay. All right, thank you. I'd like to mark as people's next in order the additional LAPD evidence disposition board. That's 213. Maybe Mr. Fairtlow can put that up for us while he's there. Oh, sorry, I think we previously marked this before we started as 209.
209.
Sir, direct your attention to what's been previously marked as People's 209 for identification. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And have you had the opportunity to look at this document to verify it against the records that are maintained by the Scientific Investigations Division?
Yes, I did.
Did you go through the same type of verification process that you described yesterday afternoon when I was asking you about the other evidence disposition boards?
That's correct.
Now, with respect to item number 6, was a control swatch of item number 6 sent somewhere on February 17th?
Yes, it was.
And what records did you have to look at in order to verify that?
Well, there were a number of notes that were made by the individuals who prepared and sent those samples. It ended up being many pages worth of notes.
Were those notes that were prepared at the time that the samples were actually being packaged for transmittal or shipping?
Yes, they were.
Now, in addition to the documentation procedures that you described just now and yesterday, was there any photo documentation that occurred?
Yes.
What was that?
Well, prior to the items that were shipped out or delivered out, that during those dates in February, all of the items were described and photographed prior to their release.
And does the photograph that's in the cell under item number for number 6 depict the photo documentation that was done?
Yes, it does.
But it's just... Now, in the bindle that's in item number 6, was there anything other than the control?
No, there's not.
And, sir, where did these items that were sent out on the 17th go to?
to a laboratory in Albany, New York.
Do you know who brought them there?
They actually went out in a couple of different shipments. I believe DA investigators transported them.
Okay. And when did these various items that went out on the 17th come back?
Well, they came back also in a couple of different shipments, but in and around February 22nd.
Now, with respect to item number 6, when it came back, or after it came back, was it photo documented again?
Yes, it was.
Can you give us the date that it was photo documented?
I'd have to refer to the photograph. The date reflects February 27th, 1995.
Now, on the date that it was photo documented, were you notified by someone to come and look at that bindle?
Yes, I was.
And what did you do?
Well, I was asked to come back to the serology unit to take a look at the contents of that bindle.
What did you see?
A portion of the control plus a hair.
And is that depicted in the photo documentation that was done on the 27th?
Yes.
Perhaps we could, with the court's permission, just move this board down so that the jurors can see it.
Yes.
So, Mr. Matheson, as to item number 6, was there a hair that was not there in the bindle when it was sent to the defense on February 17th, found in the bindle when it was photo documented on February the 27th?
That's correct.
Right. And what happened to item number 6, the control, after the 27th of February?
I'm going to object. May we approach briefly?
Yes, with the court reporter.
Thank you. Mr. Matheson, to your knowledge, was the purpose of the items that went out on February the 17th to allow the defense to inspect those items?
That was my understanding, yes.
Right. Now, after the 27th, as to item number 6, what happened to that item?
It was sent to the Department of Justice.
And on the column that says back to SID, what does that mean?
Well, that references when items are returned back to our facility.
And certain items on the, say, return to evidence control unit on 22295, item 656 and 305, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And who did that?
The actual return of those items,
To the evidence control unit.
I believe I did. I'd have to reference my notes to be sure.
Okay. And that, maybe you can double check your notes.
I have the notes on other items that were returned on 2/22nd, having a difficult time locating these particular items.
Well, can you tell from your other notes who returned those? Or can you?
Well, there were items that were returned by Mr. Raquel to ECU on the 22nd.
Okay. That's all right. But when you reviewed this board initially, did you check some document to see that these particular items were returned to ECU on the 22nd?
I checked documents that were in a notebook at the DA's office. I did not bring all the notes that we have associated with, just
Okay.
things that I was directly involved with.
Now, with respect to the cell on number 6 where it says DOJ 22895, does that reflect the date that it went out?
Yes.
And the coin envelope on that particular cell is an original envelope or a transmittal envelope?
I'll have to take a look at the picture. That particular envelope is one that was prepared by Mr. Yamauchi, not the original envelope.
Now, with respect to number 7, did you go through the same verification process that you just described with respect to number 6?
Yes, I did.
All right. And you also looked at the photographs to verify that they were, in fact, photographs that were prepared by the items that were prepared by the analyst that actually did the shipping?
Yes.
Now, with respect to the items that are number 12 and 49 that say returned on 3/9/95 from DOJ. Did you verify that those were in fact returned on that date?
Yes.
And do you know who actually put them back in ECU?
Not at this point, no.
Okay, but at any rate, you did verify that that either yourself or one of your criminalists did that.
That's correct.
And what about the items that were returned on 11/22/94, 13 and 305?
Yes.
Okay, you verified that those were in fact returned on that date and rebooked into ECU.
Well, they were returned on that date. They were not rebooked into the unit or into ECU at that time.
At that time, where did they go?
They were stored in the serology freezer.
Okay. And with respect to 305, was that one of the items that you removed from the Bronco?
As item number 305, that's correct.
Okay. And when it came back, it was rebooked as another item number?
Yes.
Your criminalist did that.
That's correct.
And what about the items that were returned on 11/22/94, 13 and 305?
Yes.
Okay, you verified that those were in fact returned on that date and rebooked into ECU. In 22/94, 13 and 305.
Yes.
Okay, you verified that those were in fact returned on that date and rebooked into ECU.
Well, they were returned on that date. They were not rebooked into the unit or into ECU at that time.
At that time, where did they go?
They were stored in the serology freezer.
Okay. And with respect to 305, was that one of the items that you removed from the Bronco?
As item number 305, that's correct.
Okay. And when it came back, it was rebooked as another item number?
Yes.
Why was that?
That is a procedure that we had in place regarding evidence that was submitted to outside agencies for analysis. Whenever, as I described earlier, there are types of DNA analysis that we don't perform in our laboratory. So when we want that work done, we send it out to Cellmark Diagnostics for them to perform the testing. It was our policy that the items would be sent out to the laboratory, then what we received back from Cellmark would be. That is a procedure that we had in place regarding evidence that was submitted to outside agencies for analysis. Whenever, as I described earlier, there are types of DNA analysis that we don't perform in our laboratory. So when we want that work done, we send it out to Cellmark Diagnostics for them to perform the testing. It was our policy that the items would be sent out to the laboratory, then what we received back from Cellmark would be rebooked as a new item. We would not necessarily go through it, but retain it in its sealed condition from that laboratory, create a new item number for it, and return it to our evidence control unit.
So when 305 rebooked as 401, once it came back from the Department of Justice, was sent out to the Department of Justice again on May the 9th, was it sent out under item number 401 or 305?
Well, the date when it was sent back out is March the 9th.
I'm sorry, yeah, right.
And it would have been sent out as 401, referencing it back to 305.
Okay. And did you also check the icons on these to see that it was just swatches that were sent out on 6, 7, 12, 49, 56, and 305?
Yes, I did.
And you looked at the transmittal envelopes that are in the column that says to outside lab to verify those.
Yes.
Now, with respect to item number 13, there's an entry under the date to defense, the column to defense on 2/16/95 at SID. What is that reference?
That references a viewing of that item or an inspection of that item within our laboratory. It didn't actually get sent anywhere.
So it didn't actually leave the laboratory on that particular, well, it didn't leave the laboratory to go to the defense on that date.
That's correct. That's within the SID facility.
And did it leave the laboratory to go somewhere on 2/16?
Yes, it did,
Where?
to the FBI.
And as to item number 17, the envelope containing a vial of blood, was that entire envelope and blood vial sent somewhere on April the 3rd?
Yes, it was,
And where was it sent?
to the FBI.
Okay, thank you.